Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for downloading episode 92 of We Got This with Mark and Hal. I want to tell you about a few opportunities that you have coming up to see Mark and me live in front of your faces, your ears, your eyes, and your clapping hands. Number one, on December 17th, we're both going to be at the theater at the Ace Hotel for the final thrilling adventure hour until we take an extended hiatus. How long? I don't know. I'm not a calendar or a person who has that information. But you can get your tickets and get all the ticket information. You can go to my website, hallublin.com, and you'll find a link to tickets there. It's just as simple as that. There are still seats available, but get them before they're gone. Also, in January, in the new year, on Saturday, January 14th, Mark and I will be live as part of San Francisco Sketchfest. So if you're in the Bay Area, come see us. We're going to be doing a live show with some very thrilling guests. And of course, we'll have Carter Parton Rogers opening for us, as we always do. For information and tickets, you can get them right now at sfsketchfest.com. All the info's there. It's going to be a great weekend of shows. Mark and I are also going to be part of the Work Juice Improv Experience. That's going to be Friday night, January 13th. Finally, if you have your sea legs and you want to go on a cruise, well, let Mark and I take you on a sea cruise, the JoCo Cruise 2017. That's going to be March 4th through the 11th. You can get a cabin right now at JoCo Cruise. That's JOCO Cruise.com. We will be doing more than one live recording with some of the other amazing guests that are going to be there at sea. You don't want to miss out. And right now, you don't want to miss episode 92 of We Got This with Mark and Hal. Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Chili, beans, or no beans?
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hello, my friend.
Hello to you.
And hello to all of our friends who are listening to the show.
Hi, friends. Thanks for all of you coming by.
Yeah, welcome. If you open up the pantry, there are chips. And if you look on the stove, there's a big pot of chili. Please help yourselves.
Now, Mark, does the chili have beans? Or does it have no beans?
Funny you should ask. That is our topic for today.
Okay, well,
should chili have... I don't know why I say that that's the topic, because you always lead off with beans or no beans.
This is true, but to be fair, I'm speaking on behalf of Lindsay Tamburello. She's the one.
Oh, hi, Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay.
Great. And Hal, I feel I owe you an apology.
Okay.
And I owe Lindsay an apology.
Go ahead.
Because when you first mentioned this topic to me, I was like, psh, nobody debates that. Next. Holy cow. Lindsay, Hal, I owe both of you a giant apology, because this is feverish. Apparently, also, I do not live in Texas and never have, and maybe Lindsay does. But in Texas, it is it's a big issue. Maybe the biggest issue of this election season.
This is the one thing that's on everybody's minds.
Yeah. I know New Yorkers who won't vote for Donald Trump because he eats pizza with a fork.
Who eats pizza with a fork?
Who eats a Philly cheesesteak with a fork?
Only a monster.
We're not going to talk about that right now. You got mad at me for that. Really mad at me.
Well, you made a big mistake, and you refused to. Instead, when you were confronted with it, like here, you obviously misjudged how passionately people feel about their chili.
Right.
But you've come out and said, hey, you know what? Turns out I made a little mistake. It happens. I'm human. Let's all move on.
Mm-hmm.
In the case of the cheesesteak, you dug in real hard. And defended it.
You know what? That thing was big and messy. And I didn't want to get grease all over my hands because I'm a delicate flower, Hal.
Well, a big bowl of chili's messy too. Tell me how you like your chili. Let's not even get into beans or no beans.
Sure.
Do you like ground meat chunks? Do you like spicy? What do you prefer?
I love my chili thick and hearty. I don't like a runny chili.
Okay.
That's very liquidy. I like it thickened. I like it served. I like it a little spicy. I've had it before and made it before. This is going to sound crazy to some people, with a tiny bit of chocolate in it. Now, I'm talking like 2 or 3 Hershey squares in a giant pot of chili. Sure. Not much at all.
People do that. That's very Cincinnati. I feel like Cincinnati is a chili town.
I know they do it sweet there, and they also do it with cinnamon there.
Yes. I've had their chili before on spaghetti.
It is called the 3-way or 5-way or however you get it. I always would get it 3-way, which is over spaghetti with cheddar cheese, and they'll also do with I believe 5-way is with tomatoes and onions on top as well.
Right.
I love it. They used to do it at Ed DeBevick's. Do you remember that restaurant?
I do remember. I don't know if I was ever there, but I definitely know the name.
Ed DeBevick's is a famous restaurant in Chicago. There was a brief time when there was one in Los Angeles as well, and I was very excited until it vanished. But it was the model, I believe, for Jack Rabbit Slims in Pulp Fiction, where your servers are assorted 50s and 60s kitschy celebrities. I was served by Joe DiMaggio once.
Oh.
Not the real Joe DiMaggio. And they jump up on the bar and they sing, and there's all kinds of craziness. And sometimes they're rude or surly with you. It's a lot of fun if you go to Ed DeBevick's. They served 3-way chili there. But Cincinnati made it famous, Gold Star and, what was the other one?
Skyline.
2 famous Cincinnati chilies. But if you talk about Cincinnati chili to a person from Texas, they will shoot you with one of their dozens of guns.
Their chili gun. It fires those chunks of meat. Because here's the thing. I came to chili later in life. It always seemed kind of odd to me, because it just seemed like hamburger soup. Because that was the chili I saw. It was like served in the cafeteria, and my school had a really good cafeteria. I will say, this was really going to surprise you. When I would order my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches from the cafeteria, they were made
I love a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
And they made it well. They made a really good, it wasn't all smushed up. It was fresh. It tasted good. Like they made
white bread,
wheat bread, thick white bread.
Great. Thick peanut butter, thin peanut butter.
Creamy peanut butter.
Okay. No. I mean like the layer itself.
It was thick enough. It wasn't too thick, but it also wasn't that thing of like, you got the sense that maybe it was around peanut butter one time. And then a bunch of jelly that sogged it out. Like all things were in the proper proportion.
Okay, good.
Each bite was a joy.
Oh, I used to work at a very famous place that had, a cafeteria where assorted, performers and princesses and, band members et al. Would go and dine. And they would have this is the cast member dining hall, and they would if on Tuesday they had chili, on Wednesday they would have chili soup, and it would be labeled as such. And it was just thinned chili. And I always thought, come on, man. But then they fixed it, and they would have 5 different kinds of chili. They would have a chili of the day. Like they stepped up their chili game after the whole chili soup debacle. So I guess to answer your question in the most long-winded roundabout way,
okay.
I like a thick, hearty chili. And as far as serving it, I prefer mine, usually with a few tortilla chips on the bottom, and then I'll pour the chili in and then crush up a few tortilla chips and some cheddar cheese on top. Maybe a dollop of sour cream.
Good man. I do the same.
What about you?
I crumble it up inside, and okay. Another reason why I didn't like chili growing up is because I didn't like the beans. I was against beans. I was very anti-bean. And apropos.
In general?
Yeah, apropos of nothing. I just decided it was probably like a mouthfeel thing where I was like, these are kind of sandy. And then I never ate them. I made that, like many things in my life, I made a decision when I was 3, and I'm a man of principle, and I stuck to it.
I like that how every episode you bring up a food that you do not eat. I'm afraid that the longer this show goes on, eventually you're not going to eat anything.
There'll always be Snickers bars. There'll always be Snickers bars, Mark.
Would you dump, if you had a big enough pot of chili, would you dump a Snickers bar in there?
Just to see what would happen?
Yeah, why not, right?
Sure.
An old friend of mine, this is the first time I had chocolate. I don't know why I'm obsessed with the chocolate and the chili. The first time I had chocolate in chili was a friend of mine, named Joseph, who's a wonderful chef in Los Angeles. Joseph Antonishek, great guy. We all went camping. He was, Campfire Joe was his, chef name. That was his claim to fame was he was a great camping chef. And on the first night of a camping trip, he would make a great big pot of chili and he would instruct everybody that came on the trip to bring one ingredient to add to the chili. And I thought, what a cool idea. And someone brought chocolate and put a little bit of chocolate in there. And I thought it was absolutely delicious and very communal. Chili is a very communal sort of food, it feels. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's something, if I eat chili by myself, it's sad times. And just eat this chili over here.
Are you a canned chili fan?
Okay, so I avoided it because of beans, right? Then I discovered Texas style chili, which I'm sure we'll get a little deeper into, but that is a non-bean that almost looks like, this is going to sound bad, and I do enjoy Texas chili, but like when you see a dog food commercial and it's wet dog food out of the can and you look at it and you go, I know in my mind that this is for dogs, but also I bet that tastes real good. It looks real good, whatever they're using to make that dog food.
Oh.
I feel bad that like now I wish that I could be eating what that beagle has on television.
Look, man, I'm telling you, Alpo Prime Cuts, I was real tempted to dig into that when I was a kid. Cause that was some big hearty chunks of beef that we gave our dog. And I was like, man, screw this grilled cheese, man. I want some of that. What looks like it's hardly distinguishable from Dinty Moore beef stew.
I have a secret for you. They're both made of horse.
Oh, did I tell you this while we were in France? There was a horse butcher shop that we saw.
No.
Yeah, really jarring thing to see.
Did they have whole horses just hanging from the windows?
They had 3 horse heads. Not like stone, carvings of horse heads out in front. And I thought, ooh, a Western wear store, like a little bit of Americana. And I walked past it and it was a butcher shop. And I was like, wait a minute. Why does this butcher shop have, oh God, what?
And you ate that horse. You ate a whole horse.
That whole horse.
Now, I will tell you, getting back to canned chili, when I finally got into it, I would get, this was like at the height of the first time I did Weight Watchers and got really into it. And I got into a place, and this might surprise you, where I found like 5 things I could eat. I knew what the points were because it was in the point system, and that's what I had. And one of them was 1 can of Hormel turkey chili, no beans. And then I would take baby carrots and I would dip baby carrots in it, or I would cut up baby carrots and put them inside so I'd have carrots with it. So
it was hearty enough for you to be able to for it to hold on to a carrot or a chip in that, if that were the case.
Yeah.
It'd probably break a chip. If a carrot could handle it, it would break a chip, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you would have to scoop it with a spoon. You do like the spoon or if you have scoops, which is the greatest innovation in chips.
The greatest chip of all time.
Oh, it's so great. Yeah. Then you can
tiny bowls, tiny corn bowls.
Oh, it's like perfect. It's every bite. It feels like a taco salad.
Oh, taco salad. Wendy's is bringing that back. We are really getting off topic here.
Well, I'll tell you now that I make chili because I'm in medically forced vegetarianism. I do make a vegan chili that I love.
By the way, that is the worst name for a cookbook I've ever heard.
Well, it's coming out next week, and
Hal Lublin, medically forced vegetarianism.
I put all my money into it, so I'm really hoping it turns out. I hope you're wrong again. I'll be expecting an apology when I make my millions of dollars.
You know what? I'm sorry. Lindsay. Oh, turned it around.
Why? I was expecting it to be for me. No, the chili I make now is very, it's not watery, but it's soupy. And that's just by the proportion of the ingredients that I put in it. Probably I need to put a little bit more tomato paste to thicken it up, but I don't mind it. And I'll put chips in it or something to soak up that broth.
What you could also do is in the beginning stages of it, crush some chips into it and, that will thicken it up.
Oh, I've been using frozen corn to thicken it up.
Really?
Yeah.
I know masa flour is pretty traditional. By the way, if anyone listening to our program is in Texas, first of all, nobody mess with them.
Yes.
Second, I apologize for everything we've been talking about for the last few minutes, because I'm certain that at this point you are screaming into your car stereo, none of this is chili.
Give me the Texas definition of chili.
Well, a Texan would tell you that the Texas definition of chili is the definition of chili itself.
Sure.
It is the official state dish of Texas as recognized in 1977.
Really?
It is, yes, it was invented. Well, there are lots of different stories about where it was invented. The two most plausible ones, I believe, are there were 56 families that came over from the Canary Islands in 1731 and settled in San Antonio. They brought with them these chilies and this recipe for a beef stew made with chilies. And they came and they settled. They were brought by King Philip V, sent them over as colonists, so that much in the way that the British Crown sent over colonists to the northern part of North America, they were sent to San Antonio, Texas, to give Spain a stronghold. Anyway, that's going way off topic and way back in time. That is sort of the origin of chili. It gained popularity, if I may do a bit of a history lesson here. Chili gained popularity in the mid to late 1800s, centered around San Antonio and the cowboys that were driving cattle in the western part of Texas. They got this idea in San Antonio, and as they rode around the trails, they invented a dish called brick chili, where they would take the cheap cuts or the leftover cuts of beef, press them under their saddles along with chili peppers and spices, and they would take these bricks. They were called brick chili.
Okay.
They would throw them in a pot and of boiling water and reconstitute it, so it was easy to cook while riding in the open range.
Okay. Listen.
Along with that, there's more, Hal. I've dug real deep into this.
Okay.
Along with that, back in San Antonio, right outside the Alamo, there were what were called the Chili Queens. The Chili Queens, grew out of this original families from the Canary Islands, and they would serve this stew, from big pots in front of the mission in San Antonio.
Just showing it
the
off.
Alamo.
Just showing off. Like, look at what we're doing. We're making this chili
and,
right in front of you.
Yeah.
Can't
Exactly. Actually, they would make it at home and bring it. And then the cowpokes would come in and they would, they gave it to them. They would serve it to them. And the Chili Queens were disbanded in the early 1930s, for obvious and well-deserved health code violations.
They were disbanded. It said
Yeah.
like Elliot Ness came in.
Oh yeah. He
G-Man.
came in. Yeah. They were the ungrubbables.
All right. I haven't been paying attention to anything you've been saying because you sent me down a rabbit hole of state foods.
Right. Oh no. Did you just jump online?
I just want to say that this is all a bunch of BS because there's no uniformity to this. Like, some states have a state native pepper. Some states have a state snack. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
One of them.
I'm going to guess the states with the state snacks are in the Midwest.
I'm going to see if I can find, there's so much. All right. So
I feel like Michigan would have like potato chips as its state snack.
So Illinois, the state snack food is popcorn. They've got a state fruit, which is the Gold Rush apple, and then pumpkin pie is the state pie. And that was 2016. So it's not like there's a proud history. These are all done, it seems like, in the last 30 years or so. But
the Texas was done in the 70s.
Yeah.
77.
So they were there first. But like, Minnesota got the blueberry muffin in 1988. That was their big, like, oh, we got it. We locked down the blueberry muffin. Now nobody can have it. Then there's one, Missouri state dessert is ice cream. And the picture they've chosen for Wikipedia looks like somebody made a duty in a cone.
Well, don't get angry at the idea of state foods because it's not like the states are claiming that no one else can have them.
What really I wanted to see what my state had claimed. The state of Pennsylvania. Guess what? They've no foods at all. But Tennessee has a state fruit. That's it.
Let me guess. Tennessee's state fruit is,
You won't get it.
tobacco.
You're close. Tomato. Tomato is the state
tomato.
fruit. Now, Texas has like what feels like 9. They've got a state vegetable, a state snack. They've got state pie, native pepper, and then another pepper. So they've got 2 peppers. They've got pastries.
Are you, I can't tell if you're upset about Pennsylvania having lots of state foods or, other states not having any at all.
Well,
are you taking pride in this or are you angry about this?
I'm a little angry that Pennsylvania's not getting on the ball and doing like funnel cake, which is our terrible, or like shoe fly pie because we have lots of Amish people.
Or apple pan dowdy.
Yes. Apple pan daddy. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So the state dish, they do have chili con carne, which is what they call it. That is no beans. That's just, again, this looks like a duty in a bowl.
Wait, are you talking about Texas now?
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
the only reason
Chili con carne, by the way, chili con carne, the name chili con carne has been shortened to chili. So when we are talking about chili, we are talking about chili con carne.
right, because it's chili peppers. It's something with a chili pepper base of some sort, whether it's mild or spicy, that also has meat in it. Now that's we've lost the con carne because there's so many different versions. There's, like, for example, there's just all vegetarian chili. There's turkey,
Right.
chicken, pork. So there are a lot of different versions of chili.
Based on all of the research I have done, Hal, none of those I think would be called chili to any of the people that have written any of these articles that seem real passionate about it.
Well, the person who uploaded this picture of duty looking chili in a white bowl, the file name is bowl of chili, no beans, which means that there are bowls of chili with beans. So tell you, like, obviously in Texas where it is a sacrosanct, it is the official state dish. Do
you mean sacrosanct?
Yeah, I said sacrosanct. What did you think I said?
Sacrosanct.
No.
We'll listen to the replay.
We won't. Please, nobody rewind this. Look, I'm from Philadelphia. We're born with 2 tongues.
Oh, wow.
We have to learn to fuse them together. They're always knocking against each other and slurring.
I knew you people
speech.
were snakes.
Yeah, we're the lizard people from V. We've been here for a long time, and we love our football team. So, but in Texas, where it's sacrosanct, there are no beans to be found. This is the equivalent. We're almost going back to episode 1, right? With ketchup on a hot dog, where Chicago is sort of like the religious epicenter of the hot dog. And there, you are not to put ketchup on it. But
no,
there are other areas of the country, and there are a lot of wrong-headed people out there who constantly tweet pictures at us, Rob Desmond, of hot dogs with ketchup on them. So just because Texas puts no beans in their chili doesn't mean there aren't other places. I mean, Cincinnati there were beans aplenty that I remember. Or I
don't recall any beans in my chili in Cincinnati.
I think you had a choice.
The thing is though, Hal, we have to determine what the rules are.
Yes.
And if the rules are chili, like the dish chili, in the strictest sense of the word,
yes,
is chili con carne. It is a shortened form.
Right.
If I may, let me throw up, I'll throw a few exhibits into the mix.
I love when you say, if I may, that you're going to share something that you read off some list site on the internet.
Oh, no. This is not something off a list site. This is a song by Ken Finlay. This is a song written in 1976.
Okay.
In Texas, as Texas was about to name chili the state song.
Well, now, let's really set the scene. Ford and Carter are locked in a bitter, vicious election.
Yes.
But chili fever is sweeping the nation.
Yes. Which is not to be confused with meat sweats.
Yes. Those are pants that you wear when you eat meat rabbits.
All right. Allow me to read these lyrics. I do not have the tune, so I apologize. I will not sing it for you.
Oh, please.
You burn some mesquite, and when the coals get hot, you bunk up some meat and you throw it on a pot.
You bunk up some meat.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean you you bunk it up, you throw it on a bed and you tuck it in, you tell it a story, then you put it in a pot. That's how you bunk your meat. That's how you bunk your meat in Texas.
You know what? I sure hope that either putting it in a pot or what you are talking about is bunking meat. Because any other definition that pops into my head is really horrifying and, would probably make it taste less than ideal. Let me go on. While some chili pods and garlic and comino and stuff, then you add a little salt till there's just enough. You can throw in some onions to make it smell good. You can even add tomatoes if you feel like you should. But if you know beans about chili, you know that chili has no beans.
Okay, let me take issue with this.
Okay.
This guy is giving an imperfect recipe. Like, you throw in some stuff and then some spices.
And then you have sex with some steak.
Yeah. Do it tender. Don't forget to give them cab fare if it's not their house.
Oh, man.
So some guy in Texas wrote a song about how there are no beans allowed in chili, and gave a real dumb recipe. Like, throw in some comino, maybe some other stuff. It's almost like he heard somebody, like the neighbors through their paper thin walls at his apartment complex, his sad apartment complex somewhere in Texas. He heard them say, like, I think that chili shouldn't have beans. And then he's like, I'm going to write a song about that. And I'm going to stir up the heart of every Texan, and I'm going to rally them around my cause. But he didn't really know how it was made. Oh, wait, if I may, here's a song that was written by Hal Lublin in 2016 about how you can put beans in chili. You bunk up that meat and tuck it in. Make sure it has its teddy bear. Then you get some beans and put them in a sleeping bag on the floor. Unless you have a trundle bed, then you pull out that trundle bed and the beans go in. You throw in some spices and then some fire and stuff, and you have chili with beans. So there you go.
Look, man, I may or may not in my life have eaten chili out of a trundle bed. Not as the serving vessel. I mean, when we visited my grandparents, my brother, cause he was a year older, got to sleep on the bed part, and I had to sleep in the drawer that pulls out from underneath the bed.
Yeah, sure.
And I guarantee at one point, this is Tennessee, man. Of course, we're gonna have a bowl of chili in bed. Cause that's what you do.
Oh, wait, it's right here on Wikipedia. That's the state shame eating for Tennessee. Having chili in the bottom half of a trundle bed.
Yeah. All right, Hal. If you think that was not official enough.
Okay. You have a hip hop song?
Let me offer this to you. The International Chili Society.
Oh, okay.
Their rules and regulations for cooks at the World Championship, state, regional, and district cook-offs are as follows. Rule number 1. Traditional red chili is defined by the International Chili Society as any kind of meat or combination of meats cooked with red chili peppers, various spices, and other ingredients.
Okay.
With the exception of beans and pasta, which are strictly forbidden. No garnish is allowed.
International Chili Society.
Yes. They, for all the, sanctioned chili cook-offs that happen, I guess anybody can have a hot dog eating contest, but the big one is the one in Coney Island. Right. These are the big guys of this thing.
Okay.
So that is a vote against beans in chili.
Okay. Now I have taken the liberty of looking up the international.
Making up another song?
Yeah, I just started a intergalactic chili society.
Ooh.
Where it's okay. No, this is in, it says the Google listing for this is charity in San Juan Capistrano, California.
Okay.
Who is Sally Struthers doing commercials for chili?
Wait a minute. Charity did it just send you to the wrong internet page?
No, because chiliCookoff.com is the website. Am I right?
It is.
That's the International Chili Society, the ICS. I'm gonna go to the contact us area.
It has an acronym, so you know it's official.
Yeah, the ICS that will give you IBS. The street address is 32244 Paseo Adelanto, Suite D3, San Juan Capistrano, California, 92675. And before
Why
anybody,
are we looking up their address?
because I just wanted to say, I thought maybe they were in like San Antonio, Texas,
Oh, I see.
104 Chili Queens Boulevard, San Antonio, Texas, 90210. All right. Oh, I like that the emails, just email Vicky. Oh, they do have their administration and correspondence is in
Look, are you
Jacksonville,
trying
Florida.
to poke holes in the authenticity of the international of the ICS?
I want to understand who they are.
Okay.
So the championship chili cook-off, which is trademarked, the Chili Verde cook-off. So they do have a version. They say if you're going to use green chilies, it's a separate thing, but they do cover that. World's Championship Salsa Contest, the ICS World's Championship Home-Style Chili Cook-Off, and what is Firefest?
Are there beans allowed in the home style chili?
That I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
So what is the rest of it? Range style?
I guess.
All right. Let me, I feel like everything that I throw at you, you're going to poke holes in.
No, I
feel like, are you arguing for beans?
I don't know. I feel like you're coming out hot in favor of no beans.
You know what? I have always eaten my chili with beans and I prefer it. As an eater, I prefer chili with beans. I'm just telling you what I have uncovered today is that as passionate as people are about not putting ketchup on a hot dog this seems even more official. Like I have been doing it wrong my whole life.
Right.
So it's a lot to take in. Speaking of range chili, I'll tell you another little story. I love this one.
Okay.
This one took a little digging to find out about this guy, but hey, we dug. We do what we do on this show. This is a prayer. This is a prayer written by a man named Bones Hooks. Okay, you ready for this? His name is just two nouns that have been used in horror films.
Isn't that a Tom Waits song?
Yes. Bones Hooks. He lived in Amarillo. I imagine Tom Waits says Amarillo, not Amarillo.
Yeah, of course. He does.
So Hooks, when he was a child, he was born in 1867, and by 9 years old, he was driving a chuck wagon, on the open ranges of Texas. Now, back in those days, somebody figured out around the early 1850s that if you took chilies and, planted them near mesquite patches, the grazing cattle wouldn't eat them. And as you drove across the range, you would always have chilies to use in your, chili that you made. You would always have chilies with an E to use in your chili with an I.
Okay.
Which is kind of a brilliant idea. Just, plant yourself a grocery store along the range that you knew you were going to be riding.
And this is essentially the story of a 9-year-old who ran a food truck in the Old West?
Yes.
Okay.
Poking holes, Lublin. Poking holes.
Look, I'm just breaking it down.
Not poking holes to discredit, poking holes to deflate.
Well, you're painting it like you're George Plimpton describing like a fall in Boston.
Yes. So, as they rode the range. By the way, to me, George Plimpton was only ever the guy that introduced the live action Winnie the Pooh show. This guy was one of the original range riding cowboys who made chili.
Okay.
And this prayer, this is also, from this part of it is, from the Chili Cook-Off website. They have Bones Hooks prayer on it. The other one was from, I believe, the Amarillo Historic Society. So,
okay.
I'm just giving you, I feel like I need to give you the bibliography, of this.
Okay.
Here is his prayer, if I may.
Please.
Lord God, you know us old cowhands is forgetful. Sometimes I can't even recollect what happened yesterday. We is forgetful. We just know daylight from dark, summer, fall, winter, and spring. But I sure hope we don't never forget to thank you before we eat a mess of good chili. We don't know why, in your wisdom, you've been so doggone good to us. The heathen Chinese don't have no chili, never.
Oh.
The Frenchman's left out. The Russians don't know no more about chili than a hog knows about a side saddle. Even the Mexicans don't get a good whiff of chili unless they live around here. Chili eaters is some of your chosen people, Lord. We don't know why you're so doggone good to us. But Lord God, don't never think we ain't grateful for this chili we are about to eat. Amen.
Well, let's take a quick break from hour 2 of Ken Burns' Chili, exploring the racism of the range. What we're going to do right now is take a quick listen to some of the other shows on the Maximum Fun Network that bring us so much joy. And you can support all of these shows at any time and maybe get a tote bag or something. We'll be right back.
Podcasts.
They're audio programs that
tell smart stories
in innovative ways
using editing techniques like this.
Like this?
But let's face it, all that smart stuff can be exhausting.
That's where Stop Podcasting Yourself comes in.
It's so stupid.
It's just two stupid dinguses
being dumb idiot jerks for 90 minutes.
Stop Podcasting Yourself.
The stupid show that smart people love.
Find it on iTunes
or MaximumFun.org.
Are you in need of a shakeup? Max Fun Con is our annual comedy and creativity festival, and it changes lives. Max Fun Con West returns to Lake Arrowhead next June, and Max Fun Con East is back in the Poconos next September. Tickets for both are on sale right now, and they will sell out. Visit MaxFunCon.com to buy your tickets today. We can't wait to see you there.
Speaking of Mexicans.
Oh, boy.
This is from the Diccionario de Mexicanismos, published in 1959. This is a Mexican dictionary. They offer a definition of chili.
Okay.
And the definition that they offer, translated into English, is detestable food passing itself off as Mexican, sold in the U.S. from Texas to New York. So, do not refer to chili as being a Mexican dish because apparently they take offense to it and are not fans.
Yeah. And
down, south of our border.
And maybe no more cowboy prayers where it seems real sweet until you get to I sure don't think those Canadians know chili. And also I'd like to take a shovel to all their heads.
Hal, did you know that you mentioned, it sounds all sweet. Chili does not have sweet origins. Do you know, this is, I know we gave some of the origins of chili as the late 1800s, but there is an account of chili from 1538.
Okay.
The first time that chili was ever mentioned. And do you know what the first main ingredient of this chili was?
Was it horse from that butcher that you went to in Italy?
Try looking on top of the horse.
Oh.
Conquistador.
Oh, great.
The Aztecs made chili out of defeated conquistadors.
Yeah, it's like Soylent Green.
Yeah. Lots of different kinds of meat. Basically, any kind of meat can be used in chili. The one hard and fast rule that I have consistently found in every bit of research that I have done, the meat can be different. Tomatoes, sure. Tomato paste, sure. You can put artichokes in it. You can put anything you want. But the one thing that you are not allowed to put in chili, according to Texans and the International Chili Society and nearly every website I have visited, every chili scholar whose work I have delved into, the one thing you cannot put in chili, Hal, is beans.
Well, then why are they in there? Do you have any evidence? Have you found any research to support beans in chili? Now,
yes.
So I get that initially from the earliest man-made chili of the Aztecs to the horse meat and racist chili of the Old West to the chili that inspired a song in the 70s that it's been no beans in chili. No beans, no beans, no beans. You have now research that supports beans in chili. Let's hear it.
The only research I have found that supports beans in chili is from, and I can't even find the actual cookbooks, but apparently in the 1920s, cookbook recipes, like for home cooks began calling for beans to be added to chili. Later, beans were added to canned chili, to, I assume, fill it out, to fill up the can and spend less money on meat.
Right.
So that is the origin of beans being in chili. Though, chili as a dish is designed, to be inexpensive. So, adding beans to chili does seem in keeping with the inexpensive nature of it. You want to fill it out a little more? You add a couple cans of kidney beans to it.
Sure.
That is, the cookbooks from the 20s that's all I can find about beans in chili.
Okay.
That said, I like them personally, and isn't eating about just eating what you like?
Yeah. I mean, it feels like this has become one of those things with not what you can eat, but should you be allowed to put beans in chili?
Right.
That's
like you and your dumb cheesesteaks.
That's what I think. Careful. Real careful. Listen, I don't need a prayer and a song to know what's supposed to be in a cheesesteak. The things are less than 100
mushrooms.
Years old. Oh, stop. Why? Why are you doing this? Why would you do it? Go to Philly and try and do that. And I promise I will use your remains to make an Aztec chili that the whole family can enjoy.
Does that mean I'm a conquistador?
Yeah. First I'll take the meat and I'll bunk it real nice.
Ooh, wait, Hal, you gotta buy me dinner first. How about a nice bowl of chili with no beans?
So, yeah, I mean, I get it. Beans are a filler. Mm-hmm. Here's the other thing. Beans don't necessarily add a ton of flavor. It's not a huge amount of flavor to beans, but I think one of the things that makes beans great is that they absorb whatever flavor you give them. So they don't alter, and that's probably why they were such a good filler, when they could have put things like corn in it or whatever else. Beans are cheap. Beans take on flavor, so it makes them a good cooking companion.
I mean, chefs have been attempting to perfect chili. So, like, I'm sure that brick chili from the 1800s that the cowboys ate tasted probably terrible. People have been trying to perfect the recipe of chili forever. So who's to say that beans are not an improvement?
Right. And I found, by and large, Texas style chili tends to not be terribly spicy.
Mm-hmm.
I like spicy chili.
Okay. Where are you getting your Texas chili, though? Because the Texas chili I've had has been pretty dang hot.
Maybe I haven't had the right kind.
Are you getting your Texas chili in Pennsylvania?
What I do is I get a bowl of Alpo.
Prime cuts?
Prime cuts. And then somebody tricks me, probably my dad, that dastardly parent, tricks me into thinking it's chili con carne. And then I take a bite and I never want to eat anything ever again. Have you ever eaten a dog biscuit, by the way?
Yes.
You didn't even stop to.
No. It's not a thing you forget.
What, how bad was it?
Terrible.
My mother's tried them before.
Yeah.
I remember her trying them. I never have.
You know what? It's what I imagine a barn tastes like. Like a combination of both the physical structure of a barn and everything inside it. I'm talking hay, shovel handles, horse tails. It's like a kind of a mix of barn flavors.
Oh, it just smells so bad. Why would I want to eat that?
Yeah, like a barn.
Why? I don't want to eat barns either.
They do smell. Look, they don't smell super, super terrible. There was a reason I initially put it in my mouth. It wasn't a dare. It was a curiosity.
But it wasn't like, this will be good. I wonder how not bad it could be.
Exactly.
So the question before us here, I think, and tell me if you agree, has chili evolved to the point where beans are commonplace and okay? Are we going to tell half of the country or half of the world that they're right and that beans should be banned 100%? Or are we going to tell those OG chili people, calm down, beans are fine? They're now an everyday commonplace part of chili, and we need to evolve our thinking around this. It's going to be okay. Is that what we're deciding here?
I don't know. We have been harsh on food snobs in the past. We have been food snobs in the past. We've come down on both sides of it.
We have.
But the thing that I think this most closely resembles, as odd as it sounds, is our very first episode. And with that in mind, much like technically you can put ketchup on a hot dog, but don't. Technically, you can put beans in chili, but when that happens, where does it stop? You put artichokes in it. You put all kinds of other stuff in it.
Mushrooms.
We have mushrooms. Exactly. No, mushrooms belong on a cheesesteak.
Stop it. Why are you doing this?
I'm doing this because you did that dumb ghost voice in our Halloween ghost episode and I had nightmares.
That ghost could be around any time.
I feel like this is going to have to go for me. And maybe it's because I went down this rabbit hole for a whole afternoon. And I've now been like Clockwork Orange, incepted with this idea, but it feels like the ketchup argument to me, the ketchup on a hot dog argument. And I'm leaning pretty strongly towards, even though I have been a beans fan, toward chili with no beans. What do you feel?
I feel like people of the world, I'm in a real pickle right now. Mark can't hear me. I'm talking directly to you like I'm Zach Morris. And I froze everybody. I want you to know, things aren't going so well for Uncle Hal right now in the meat eating department. So he's got to make a vegan chili with beans as the substitute for meat. Now notice what I said there. I said substitute for meat. Unfreeze. Mark, you can participate in this too.
Oh,
now,
great. Have you come up with a decision?
Oh, I should have told you I was going to freeze you. That was my mistake. Anyway, I have come to a decision.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a second.
Huh?
We're using the wrong pronouns here. We have to come to a decision.
Yes, but you had come to a decision and I've come to a decision. I agree with you. I think that for me, as I've just said, in making a vegan chili, I use beans because I can't use meat.
I didn't hear that part.
Well, you were frozen.
Oh, right.
I was holding my giant.
Oh my gosh. It's like Zach Morris on Saved by the Bell.
Oh God. I gotta remember to tell you about this stuff before I do it. Anyway, you should not have beans in your chili. There's already meat in there. Okay. Isn't that enough? Do you really, you can add a whole bunch of other stuff in there, and don't put artichoke in your chili. Don't have some weird, in our family, we add artichoke because we're just artichoke people. Guess what? Not anymore. You take that out of the chili. It's meat. It's some onion. It's some cumino and some spices or whatever. It could have corn in it. Maybe. Don't. Maybe a little bit of carrot. Maybe you put chocolate and cinnamon in there. I don't know. I don't care for it personally. I like a spicy hot chili, but to me, the ideal chili is meat and no beans. So no beans in chili, everybody. If you're like me and your back's against the wall, then you do what you got to do to survive. But believe me, this is not ideal. This is not ideal because the best chili and the only official chili should be a chili with no beans and only meat. Asked and answered. Thank you, Lindsay.
Have you made a decision yet?
Oh, did I do it again? Oh man.
Yeah.
I did.
I think any time that you talk to directly to the audience, I'm frozen. I don't know what any of the decisions on this show have been for every episode.
I believe that even if we weren't doing this bit.
Thanks for the question, Lindsay. Asked and answered. But there are lots more questions that are out there begging to be discussed and finalized. So please reach out to us on Twitter at We Got This Tweets, or check us out on the Maximum Fun subreddit. There's probably a flame war happening right now.
Hit us up on Facebook at facebook.com/We Got This Podcast, or email us at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, to researcher
who also hates beans.
Yes, he also doesn't like beans. Researcher Kate McManus, we don't know how she feels about beans. We also don't know how graphic designer Uri Kelman feels about them, or QA engineer Jen Alba, but we sure do thank them all.
You know who else we thank but don't know how they feel about beans?
Who?
Our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and song, respectively.
And of course, all the people out there who listen to this show. Some of you like beans, some of you don't, but now, because of you, and the over 1 million downloads we've had.
Congratulations, buddy.
You too. We're now official authorities. When we cross the 1 million download mark, all of our decisions were now cast in stone. So chili has no beans in it. I will say, unless you have to have vegan chili like I do, and then it's like, oh, I wish there was meat, but I guess I'll put beans in there for now.
Hal, we're done.
Okay, we're done. We're done. No beans. No beans. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin.
For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi. And don't worry, everybody. We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Listener supported.